It was the night of June 17th, 1906, when I was called to the estate of Colonel Bartholomew Redgrave. The late Bartholomew Redgrave. I had been with the Yard for 4 years, and a suicide case was nothing new. I was efficient, and I suppose that's what they were looking for in a high society situation like this. Someone who would quickly close the case and call the coroner.
Good evening, sir. May I take your coat?
That won't be necessary. I won't be staying long. Just take me to see the Colonel if you would be so kind.
Very well, sir. He's in the study. This way. Elmer? Elmer! Ah, there you are, Elmer. I was wondering if you might call our carriage. My son and I have a long trip home, and after the tragic events this evening...
You will go nowhere until I've examined the body. I'm sorry, Mr...
Sinclair. Lord Sinclair. And you are?
Detective Davenport. I must ask you to stay until I have filed the report. If you would kindly wait in the lounge.
We found him like this.
I see. You found him first?
Oh, yes. The door was locked. But I have the master key, of course.
And who was the next to arrive?
Miss Redgrave.
Ah, the lovely Miss Redgrave, the Colonel's daughter, correct?
That's correct. She arrived, and then Mr. Fellows.
And he is?
An American gentleman, staying on the invitation of Miss Redgrave.
I see. How long have you been in the service of the Redgraves, Elmer?
My whole life, sir.
Would you describe the Colonel as a tidy man?
Tidy? Yes. He abhorred mess. You can tell by the way he kept his study.
Brandy. I thought I smelled it when I walked in the room.
The suicide note, sir.
Elmer, would you please tell all the guests to gather in the lounge?
Very well, sir.
It was murder plain as day, and I was sure the culprit was still in the house. But there was something strange about the Colonel. There should be more blood. Then there was the trouble of the locked door. Of course. Get me the district police station.
I'm going to introduce my fist to your stuck-up English face. I'd like to see you try, you good-for-nothing scoundrel.
Billy, don't!
Gentlemen! Would anyone care to explain what is going on?
It was just a disagreement, Detective. We are all a little shocked and distraught, you understand.
I understand completely, Miss Redgrave. Please, have a seat. I would like very much to hear each of your accounts of the night, so that I may piece together a picture of the suicide.
Well, it's perfectly clear what happened. Anyone can see that. The Colonel had been acting strange all evening. We all loved the man, but he wasn't in his right mind. You didn't need a doctor to tell you it.
It's true, he broke down in the middle of dinner, crying over the main course. Venison curry, I believe.
And then he was laughing, staring at each one of us in turn and laughing.
Is this true?
It is. I had never seen Father act so strangely. It was like he was possessed.
Indeed, he seemed to become very depressed at the end of the meal. He mumbled something and went upstairs. That was the last time anybody saw him alive.
I would like each of you to recount the events after he retired, when you heard the shot. Elmer, perhaps you would be good enough to start.
I see, yes. Well, I had just finished tending to the kitchen, feeding the scraps to the dogs. The cooking staff had been sent home. I was on my way up the stairs to take port and brandy to the guests. when I heard the shot. I was on the stairs in a moment, and there was the Colonel.
Father and I were both in the billiard room.
Playing billiards.
Yes, certainly, playing billiards. We heard the shot. At first we thought it was just the brute Fellows shooting his revolver into the night.
Mr. Fellows!
But then we heard Miss Redgrave's scream and rushed at once upstairs.
Then was it your revolver the Colonel used?
Yes, it was mine, but it was in my room and I was nowhere near the Colonel. I swear it!
Then where were you?
I had stepped outside to smoke. The conversation had been tense. I needed something to relax my nerves. I heard the shot, stubbed out my cigarette. I met Emma at the bottom of the stairs.
And you, Miss Redgrave?
The boys' conversation was rattling me. I wanted peace. I went to the library on the ground floor. I was reading when I heard the shot.
I would greatly appreciate it if everyone would stay in the house just a little longer. Elmer, would you come with me? Elmer, would you clarify something for me?
Of course, sir.
The dispute between Mr. Fellows and Sinclair Jr., what is the nature of it?
Well, it's over Miss Redgrave. The lady brought back Mr. Fellows from her trip to America this last month. Needless to say, it infuriated the Colonel. He forbade their engagement. This dinner party was arranged to make Miss Redgrave change her mind. See the alternative, so to speak.
Sinclair Jr., a suitor then?
Yes, indeed. So the Colonel thought, poor man.
Thank you, Elmer. That will be all.